Revealed, how an incredible 50K dress was transformed after my daughter-in-law threw wine at it. Sarah's heart raced as she stood in the kitchen, a whirlwind of excitement and anxiety buzzing around her. The day had finally come, a pre-wedding gathering for Jake and Mia, and the elegant dress hung like a beacon of hope against the backdrop of their small Maplewood home. It was stunning, a breathtaking 50K masterpiece that symbolized dreams fulfilled, a promise of a new chapter. Yet beneath the laughter and the merriments of family, Sarah felt a tightness in her chest, a tension brewing that she couldn't quite shake. While the aroma of roasted chicken filled the air, guests filled the living room, sharing stories and smiles, but an undercurrent of apprehension lingered. Mia buzzed about, her vibrant personality trying hard to impress everyone, but Sarah sensed her nerves. Mia was new to this tight-knit community, and the weight of expectations hung over her. The contrast between their lives, the single mom working tirelessly to raise a soldier and the young woman comfortable in her privilege, was undeniable. As the gathering flowed, laughter echoed, but it took just one offhand comment from Sarah to burst the bubble. "You know, the key to making a family work is hard work and sacrifices," she had said, not realizing how it would hit. Mia's face fell, caught in a tension that felt all too familiar. The room quieted, and for a moment, all that could be heard were the hushed breaths of onlookers. And then, like the flash of lightning, the accident happened, a slip of the elbow and a cascade of deep red wine spilled onto Mia. Gasps erupted, and time seemed to slow. Staring in horror, Sarah felt the world collapse around them. The 50K dress, now a canvas for chaos, was no longer just fabric, it was an embodiment of dreams marred, an unspoken symbol of Sarah's years of sacrifice. Tears sprang to Mia's eyes as panic swept in, her heart racing against the understanding that this mishap meant more than just ruined silk. Suddenly, the merry atmosphere cracked, revealing layers of unresolved issues. Conversations turned from laughter to heated debates. Sarah wrestled with her emotions, feeling a strange sense of loss for both the dress and the ideals it represented. Jake stood torn at the center, an anchor between his mother's brute reality and the charming world Mia hailed from, guilt flaring in his eyes. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." With every passing moment, raw truths pierced through the air. Sarah's voice shook as she shot out, "This dress meant everything for the life I fought to create." And Mia quickly retorted, "Then why can't you see I'm trying to fit in?" Jake desperately interjected, hoping to bridge the growing divide. The implications rang louder than the shouting itself, their shared woes, struggles, and fear of not belonging. Would they ever understand one another? As Jake held both women in shaky hands, they suddenly stood at a crossroads, one path leading to unity, the other to a fracture too deep to mend. Would they lean on shared vulnerabilities to create a family bond, or would their differences take the lead, further distancing them as the wedding day approached? The air felt electric, charged with uncertainty, leaving them all wondering if reconciliation was possible or if they were destined to remain forever divided. The silence that followed was deafening. Mia's heart pounded, each heartbeat like a distant drum, echoing her fear. She felt the stares bore into her, hot and heavy. The laughter that had once filled the room felt like a distant memory. Instead, the air was thick with judgment and cruelty. Why did this have to happen? How could something so simple turn into a battlefield? Jake shifted uncomfortably, glancing between his mom and Mia, seeking a lifeline but finding none. Each woman represented different worlds, and he felt caught in a crossfire he never wanted to instigate. He cleared his throat. "Let us just breathe for a second," he said, his voice shaky but firm. "This is supposed to be a celebration, right?" But the tension was palpable. Mia's hand trembled as she dabbed at the wine stain, crimson seeping deeper into the ivory fabric. It felt like a metaphor, a representation of how intertwined their lives had become, even amidst wear and tear. "It's just a dress," she whispered, more to herself than anyone else. No, Sarah interjected, her voice rising. It's not just a dress. It's what it represents. Her eyes, usually warm and maternal, were sharp and filled with something unrecognizable. Pain and pride swirled together as she thought of the sacrifices she made to give Jake a better life. That dress embodied every late night and every hard job she'd taken just to see her family thrive. Mia looked up, her eyes glistening with unshed tears, her lip trembling. It was a moment of vulnerability that pierced through the armor she had been trying to wear. I didn't mean to mess things up, she said, feeling small under the weight of everything swirling around them. I just wanted to feel included. To feel like I belonged. A hush fell again, this time heavier, like the night pressing down after a storm. It was as if the room breathed, held captive by the raw honesty that floated between them. Jake, sensing the gravity of the moment, stepped closer to Mia, squeezing her hand gently. You do belong, he said softly. We just need to figure this out together. Sarah's gaze softened, her heart twisting at the sight of her son. Was this really about a dress? She looked at Mia, truly looked at her, and saw not a rival, but a woman who carried her own burdens. A single mom, trying to weave a place into her son's life, battling insecurities that felt loud against Sarah's strong presence. We're all just trying to find our way, aren't we? Sarah said, her voice breaking slightly. She took a step back and sat on the edge of the sofa, letting silence carry the weight of her admission. Mia nodded, a tear finally slipping down her cheek. Her voice shook. I want to be part of your family. But I feel like I'm always one step behind. Suddenly, a crack of laughter erupted from the corner of the room, shattering the thick atmosphere. It was Uncle Bill, trying to lighten the mood. Well, at least we know no one's spilling grape juice anytime soon. His grin was contagious, and laughter rippled back through the guests. They were a family, after all, and the tension slowly began to peel away like layers of paint. As the room began to relax, Sarah realized they had taken the first step toward understanding, but the road ahead was still fraught with challenges. Would they be able to unite despite their differences? The wedding drew closer, and things could still go in any direction. Jake watched his mother and his future wife with a mix of hope and dread. Their shared memories would form the foundation for something new, if only they could build it. But first, they'd need to dismantle the uncertainty that had so firmly latched onto their hearts. And as the evening wore on, the glow from the shared laughter felt tentative, fragile. What would happen when the dust settled? Jake wondered silently. Would they emerge stronger or find themselves more fragmented than before? Only time would tell, and time was running out before that fateful day approached. The atmosphere shifted slowly, as if the laughter had woven a fragile thread of connection, but Mia felt the weight of unspoken words still hanging heavily in the air. Jake kept his hand in hers, steadying her as she wiped at her cheeks, which felt warm and wet, betraying her attempts to maintain composure. Let us get you another drink, he suggested softly, leading her towards the kitchen. The place was buzzing with voices, conversations overlapping in a comforting hum, but for Mia, it all felt distant, like she was floating above the scene, detached yet yearning to dive back in. Once in the kitchen, the noise faded slightly. Mia leaned against the counter, taking a deep breath, her heart still racing. I didn't mean to ruin everything, she murmured, her gaze fixed on the floor tiles. They reminded her of a puzzle, all the pieces scattered and far from fitting together. You didn't ruin anything, Jake assured her, pouring her a fresh glass of sparkling apple cider. It's just family stuff. It's messy. He handed her the glass, his fingers brushing against hers, sending a warm tingle through her. My mom has her reasons, you know. She just doesn't want to lose me. Mia nodded, understanding more than she could express. I get that. But it's like I came in and disrupted this perfect little bubble, she said, taking a sip, the fizzy drink burning pleasantly in her throat. I don't want to feel like an outsider. You're not, Jake replied, his voice firm. You're in this with us. I promise. His eyes searched hers, full of earnestness. Suddenly, the kitchen door swung open, and Sarah walked in, her expression a mixture of nervousness and determination. She looked at Mia, and for a moment, the tension thickened again. Then Sarah sighed, as if she had decided to shed some of the weight that had been pressing down on her. "Mia, can we talk?" Sarah asked softly, her voice steadier than before. "I think we need to figure this out." Mia felt her heart race again, a flutter of hope mingled with anxiety. "Sure," she replied, trying to maintain her composure. "What do you want to say?" "We both care about Jake," Sarah stated, her words measured and deliberate. "And I've realized that it's not just about the wedding or that dress. It's about family, and what that really means." She stepped closer, a vulnerability shining through the previous tension. "I've been scared of what losing Jake someday might look like, and maybe I took it out on you unfairly." Mia's breath hitched, surprised by Sarah's honesty. "I never meant to come between you two. I just wanted to be a part of something real." They shared a long look, and in that moment, the room seemed to pulse with a unifying energy, stitching together their broken threads. Sarah shifted her weight, looking almost smaller, and in that posture, Mia saw a woman filled not just with pride but also with fear. "I think we need to start from a place of honesty," Sarah said, her voice quavering slightly. "Will you let me get to know you? Without all the baggage?" Mia hesitated, her heart quickening. Could they really reshape this dynamic? It wasn't just about the wedding anymore, it was the beginning of something deeper, something requiring both of them to take a leap of faith. "Yeah, I'd do like that," Mia admitted softly, feeling a flicker of hope ignite inside her. As they stood inches apart, the world outside the kitchen remained loud and chaotic, yet within this bubble, a fragile understanding began to forge a path ahead. But what would that journey look like? Just then, a loud crash echoed through the house, punctuating their moment. Both women exchanged wary glances. "What now?" Jake rushed into the room, breathless and wide-eyed. "You won't believe what just happened." Mia's stomach clenched, anticipation curling tight. Whatever was about to unfold would shift everything again, and suddenly, she was both terrified and invigorated. Mia felt her breath hitch as Jake's words hung in the air like a challenge. She exchanged glances with Sarah, their expressions mirroring a mix of disbelief and curiosity. The chaotic buzz of the party outside faded further into the background, trapping them in this moment of suspense. "Wait, what?" Sarah asked, her eyes widening. "What happened?" "It's Mom. She accidentally spilled wine on the wedding dress." Jake blurted out, his voice a mix of panic and urgency. "And you have to see it, it somehow looks amazing now." Mia's stomach dropped. The dress was a big deal, a symbol of tradition and expectations. The thought of it damaged struck her in a raw way. She could feel her heart beating faster, uncertainty flooding her mind. Would this be the catastrophe that ruined everything? Or, somehow, could it be the start of something new? "Is she okay?" Mia asked, instinctively worrying about Jake's mom. She was upset at first, but then she... Jake paused, recovering from the whirlwind. "You have to see it to understand. Mitchell's bringing it here right now, and everyone's talking about how the design might actually turn out unique, like a kind of accidental masterpiece." Mia exchanged a tentative look with Sarah. "A masterpiece," she repeated, half dreaming, half skeptical. Things were already so messy, could this chaos lead to beauty? "I think we should go," Sarah suggested, glancing at Mia with newfound determination. "If it really is something special, maybe it can help clear the air. Show everyone it doesn't have to be perfect." Jake nodded, his enthusiasm infectious. "Exactly. Plus, it's not just about the dress. We've got each other, right?" Mia's heart swelled, a flicker of hope illuminating the shadow of anxiety that had lingered. It hit her that sometimes the most beautiful moments in life came from unexpected disasters. Perhaps they could embrace this new twist, rewrite some of the old script. They made their way back into the living room, where laughter mixed with shouts of excitement. Mia felt adrenaline bubbling up again, but this time, it felt different. It was as if they were collectively united, ready to take on whatever was next. Moments later, Mitchell arrived, carefully maneuvering to keep a large, white fabric from dragging the floor. The moment he stepped inside, all eyes were drawn to him. The dress, despite the ominous shadow of spilled red wine, seemed to glimmer back at them all from the dim light. The gathered crowd traded reluctant gasps and surprised whispers. "All right, folks, brace yourselves," Mitchell announced with a wink. "You're about to witness a fashion miracle." As he set the dress down, the energy shifted palpably. Mia caught Jake's hand as they leaned in closer. The wine seemed to deepen the fabric's color, swirling reds and purples into a charming abstract pattern. It was wild and unpredictable, just like life itself. For a brief moment, everyone forgot their worries, captivated by the unexpected beauty and chaos combined. Mia felt an unexpected surge of joy. Were they really witnessing a wedding dress transformed by a simple mistake? Had something potentially devastating turned into something breathtakingly beautiful? As laughter echoed around her, and Jake squeezed her hand tighter, a feeling of unity washed over the three of them. Whatever woes had bound them earlier had started to unravel. And in the spirit of this imperfect moment, Mia realized this was just the beginning. The chaos brought them closer together, as if the dress itself was binding their new family. But then a voice interrupted her thoughts, cutting through the exclamations of delight. "I can't believe you'd wear that to the wedding." It was Jake's mom, standing in the entrance, a rigid tension displaying on her face. Mia's heart raced. How would she react to this new vision of her daughter-in-law's future? Would she embrace the change or resist it? In the air hung the tantalizing question, could they all find a way to adapt to this new journey together? Jake's mom stared at the dress, her expression a tumultuous mix of horror and confusion. The room fell silent, the sounds of laughter fading like a song cut off mid-note. It was a heavy moment, thick with tension. "What on earth?" she breathed, stepping forward. Her voice trembled slightly, challenging the joyful atmosphere that clung to the air. "You want to wear that?" Mia felt Jake's hand grip hers tighter, his heat pulsing through her as if to shield her from the brunt of his mother's disapproval. The sudden shift felt electric, charged with the prospect of conflict. Would they lose this shared joy? She took a steadying breath. "It's not ruined," Jake said confidently, stepping in front of Mia and Sarah. "It's beautiful, in its own way. Can't you see that?" He gestured at the dress as if it would defend itself, a shield against the impending storm. Jake's mom hesitated, eyes darting back to the dress, trying to reconcile the chaos of wine stains with the idea of beauty. Maybe it stirred some old belief within her, something about tradition unwavering against creative spontaneity. Mia could sense her heart starting to crack open, even if only a little. Beautiful? Or just a mess? Jake's mom replied, her voice steadier but edged with disbelief. "Imagine what the guests will think. It's a wedding dress, not a canvas for improvisation. It's what we make of it that counts," Mia chimed in, never one to back down in the face of criticism. She felt the entire crowd listening. Perhaps their eyes were unforgiving, but Mia's voice remained steady. "Tradition is important, but so is embracing change. Maybe this is a sign we don't always have to follow the old rules." Her words hung in the air, a tentative bridge stretched toward Jake's mom. There was a momentary silence, one that begged for a response. Jake's mom blinked, her features softening slightly. "But it's not how it's supposed to look," she whispered, almost to herself, reflecting her own turbulence. "Maybe it's exactly how it's meant to look," Sarah interjected, her tone calm yet persuasively passionate. "Sometimes things we perceive as messes can be the most beautiful. It's the story behind it." She stepped closer, her eyes locked on Jake's mom. It was a call for connection, an appeal to their shared humanity. The room was still, and Mia could feel every breath, every heartbeat. Would Jake's mom turn away, or would she step into the light of this unexpected transformation? Jake's mom glanced between them, her defenses wavering. It was as if she was weighing the tension of her traditional views against the vibrant energy swirling around them, born from this chaotic moment. Lastly, a strangled laugh broke from her lips. You're all mad. But in her voice, Mia detected a flicker of amusement, perhaps realization, like a sunbeam breaking through stubborn clouds. Maybe I am. Jake shouted playfully, breaking the tension like a pop of confetti. But I would rather be mad than dull. Besides, it's just a dress. The room erupted in laughter, a mix of relief and acceptance flooding the space. As tension rippled away, Jake's mom smiled lightly. It was small, fragile, yet profoundly important. Mia felt exhilaration wash over her, a foamy wave of hope buoying them up. Can we all agree that life is messy, but it's also beautiful? She proposed. Jake's mom looked around at the smiling faces, caught in the electric possibility of embracing imperfection. She hesitated, but then nodded slowly. Maybe we can. Just this once. Mia's heart soared, something breaking within her, as if shackles were falling away. Yet, there remained an unspoken fear this was just one moment. What would happen when the next challenge arose? As the laughter resumed, Mia caught a glimpse of the future and realized they were on a precipice. They'd taken a step toward transformation, together. But could they sustain this fragile progress? The question hung in the air, filling the room with an exciting anticipation for what might come next. Mia felt the warmth of Jake's hand still encasing hers, grounding her amid the whirlwind of emotions swirling in the room. The laughter had smoothed over the recent upheaval, but uncertainty lingered like the faint smell of spilled wine. Would this fragile acceptance hold against the tides of expectation and tradition? All right, everyone, Jake's mom finally spoke, her voice breaking through the jovial chatter. I guess we all need to make some choices here. She leveled her gaze at the dress, a mix of confusion and curiosity evident in her eyes. If we're doing this, how do we even begin to fix it? Mia's heart raced. This wasn't just about a dress anymore, it was a chance for transformation. What if we embrace the chaos? Mia suggested quickly, her own voice surprising her with its clarity. Let us make this dress something that tells a story. Maybe we could add patches of color. Maybe ribbons or even flowers? Jake's mom tilted her head, considering. You think that people would appreciate that? More than just appreciate, Jake jumped in, excitement animating his face. They'll remember it. It'll be iconic. A symbol of how we can change and adapt. Mia could see Jake's mom waver again, the battle between tradition and innovation playing out in her mind. The festival had been about family, yes, but it was also about connection. If she could let go of perfection, what would that mean for the family, for their future moments together? It's just a dress, Jake's mom finally murmured, almost to herself, as if the realization was breaking loose. But I don't want our family to be just a mess. We've always done things a certain way. But sometimes the mess is where the beauty lies, Sarah chimed in, now nudging Jake's mom gently. Being messy means we're actively creating something new. We've got to let go of control if we want to grow. Jake's mom, caught in the tide of passion surrounding her, looked shaken but intrigued. The walls around her heart felt like they were shifting. Okay, maybe we can try, she ventured carefully. But no promises. A tidal wave of excitement rushed through the crowd. Laughter and encouragement erupted, as family and friends surged forward, eager to contribute their ideas and skills. Swaths of fabric were tossed around. Hands reached out for brushes and dye. The frantic buzz of activity filled the room, reviving energy that had felt dormant moments before. Mia watched in awe as Jake's mom rolled up her sleeves, darting around, absorbed in the light-hearted chaos. She caught Mia's eye, her lips curved into a tentative smile, a bridge building where once there'd only been chasms. As her fingers mingled with colorful paints, Mia could feel something shift, a bond forming through creation. It all felt surreal and beautiful, like new roots forming from ashes. But beneath the joy, a worry gnawed at Mia. What if the moment passed? What if the acceptance they fostered was merely temporary? Could they really change the way they interacted, the way they viewed tradition? Just as the first strokes of color hit the fabric, a sudden noise shattered the playful atmosphere. The door swung open, and in walked an unexpected guest, the family patriarch, Jake's dad, with an air of authority that seemed to chill the room. He glanced around, taking in the chaos as if he were entering a battlefield. "What's going on here?" he demanded, eyebrows furrowed as tension wrapped around everyone. The weight of his presence felt unbearable. Could they hold on to this fragile progress when faced with scrutiny? Mia's heart raced as she exchanged worried glances with Jake. Would they be forced to return to the old code of conduct and tradition? Or could the beauty they created withstand the storm? The challenge hung between them, a powerful threat, and a haunting question lingered in the air. Would they rise together or fall apart at the threshold of something new? The room seemed to freeze. All eyes turned to Jake's dad, a man whose presence felt as heavy as an anchor. He stood just inside the door, arms crossed over his broad chest, tension radiating from him like heat waves. Mia could see Jake's shoulders tense beside her, his grip tightening around her hand. "What did I walk into?" Jake's dad continued, his voice sharp. The laughter from moments ago had evaporated, leaving only his cold authority in its wake. Jake stepped forward, his bravado shining through his uncertainty. "Dad, we're embarking on an arts and crafts project?" he interrupted, glancing at the colorful chaos now filling the space. The fabric drapes, the brushes, the clusters of friends working intently, it was all a stark contrast to Jake's dad's often rigid views on family traditions. Mia felt the heat rise in her cheeks. Would this be the moment their progress crumbled? "Actually, we're transforming the dress for the festival," Mia found herself saying, her heart racing but her voice steady. The energy in the room shifted, as everyone leaned in, awaiting what would come next. Jake's dad raised an eyebrow, eyes narrowing. "Transforming?" His tone was laced with skepticism, but she sensed a hint of curiosity. "You mean ruining it?" "No," Mia replied quickly, passion igniting within her. "We're making it more than just a dress. We want it to tell a story of who we are as a family." The words tumbled out, each one louder than the last, urging defense against the imminent threat of disapproval. "We can showcase our history and the changes we want to embrace." Jake's dad paused, his expression softening just a fraction. The room held its breath, and Mia could feel her heart thumping. If only they could sidestep the impending harsh reality. "This dress is about more than tradition, Dad," Jake chimed in, stepping beside Mia with determination. "It's about us growing together, not apart. The world isn't steady, so why should we be?" The words seemed to linger as an unexpected stillness enveloped them. Everyone exchanged cautious glances, the kind that danced between hope and fear. Mia's own heart echoed the anxiety. What if this was not the moment they were ready for? Jake's dad glanced around at the colorful mess they had created, painted hands reaching for more supplies, the laughter before him now replaced with anticipation. He took a deep breath, as if letting the chaos infiltrate that stern exterior he wore. "I suppose some changes can be refreshing," he finally muttered, but the undertone carried a challenge rather than acceptance. "But are you sure you all want to put your names on this? It won't replicate perfection." Mia felt a wave of hope wash over her but quickly followed it with concern. Did they want to risk their family's reputation for this? Would they all still be united when the festival came and the eyes of tradition burned like hot coals on them? "I think we're betting on something greater," Mia replied, glancing quickly at Jake, then back to his father. "Not perfection, but unity, resilience, and maybe, just a touch of creativity." A flicker of something softened the edges of Jake's dad's face. He pressed his lips into a thin line, as he seemed to consider her words deeply. Behind him, the world outside kept spinning, unyielding. But as the moment hung in the air, a sudden laugh broke through the silence. Sarah, with her hands still splattered in paint, called out, "Let us make this dress legendary." The tension fractured under the surprise of laughter. The room erupted again, everyone swapping ideas and color palettes, energy reigniting like flames on kindling. Yet Mia could still feel the weight of uncertainty beneath the laughter. Would Jake's dad join this movement or continue his hold over the family's past? The challenge wasn't just from him, it was woven into their own expectations. And now, with the fabric of family tradition pulling taut, how would they proceed? She caught Jake's eye, his brow furrowed slightly as if reading her worry. He squeezed her hand tighter, his grip a silent promise of support. She needed to believe that they could navigate this together, without losing themselves to history. As paint splattered and laughter roared around them, a new thought flickered. What if they brought his dad into the fold, transformed his skepticism into something beautiful? Just then, Jake's dad glanced back at the dress and muttered, "This better be worth it." The air thickened once more. Could their artistry bridge the gap between family tradition and the chaos of change? Would the festival be a celebration of their growth or a stage for their unraveling? And as they gathered around the vibrant fabric, Mia wondered if they were truly ready for what lay ahead. What if this was only the beginning of a much bigger transformation than they could ever imagine? Mia sensed a shift in the air, as if the universe held its breath in anticipation. Jake's dad lingered at the edge of their chaotic creativity, his face a mix of wonder and skepticism. Everyone was buzzing now, excitement crackling like static. It felt like they'd opened a door to something bigger, something they might not be fully prepared for. "I mean it, this better be worth it." His voice was now softer, almost gentle. Mia's heart fluttered. Was he really considering participating? The moment was fragile, like a spun sugar web, and she couldn't tell if it would shatter or strengthen. Jake stepped forward, eager to seize the moment. "Dad, what if you helped us out? Just think about it, this could be a way for all of us to connect, to change what our family means." His voice was full of hope, a lifeline thrown into the unknown. There was a brief pause. Jake's dad looked at the colorful mess, then back at Jake. The father-son connection glimmered beneath the surface, filled with years of unspoken words. He began slowly, "I used to think a lot about how family traditions define us." The admission seemed to hang heavily. "Maybe I've been too rigid." He looked around, taking in the vibrant enthusiasm of their friends. "All right, I'll join in," he finally said, raising his chin with newfound resolve. "But I'm not painting." A ripple of laughter spread through the room, breaking the last remnants of tension. Mia felt her shoulders relax, relief washing over her. "Deal." Jake grinned, clearly buoyed by his dad's willingness. "Just stay out of the way of the paint, okay? Let us set some ground rules first." Jake's dad crossed his arms, now resembling a more genial version of himself. "We can't mess up the dress completely." Amidst the fresh bursts of creativity, Mia felt a sense of triumph blooming within her. The ice was cracking, and she couldn't help but think that transformation wasn't just about the dress, it was about the family itself. As they gathered supplies, the atmosphere morphed into one of charged cooperation. The laughter bounced off the walls, and for every brush stroke or fabric twist, a piece of tradition melted away. They were creating more than a dress, they were molding their family story, one that embraced their differences rather than shied away from them. Jake's dad reached for a paintbrush, albeit tentatively. "What color are we thinking for splatters?" he asked, with a hint of mischief in his tone. "Rainbow," Sarah shouted from the corner, waving her hands like she was conducting an orchestra. Mia smiled as the ideas flowed freely. This was the heart of what they were striving for, a fresh palette representing their family's journey. Her heart swelled, hopeful that this exercise in creativity might foster something deeper than she'd ever intended. But just as they began to apply colors to the fabric, Mia caught a shadow flit across Jake's dad's face. It was there and gone, but it made her heart skip a beat. What if the changes they all sought weren't as easy as she hoped? What if the transformation of the dress to tell their story also uncovered wounds long left unattended? The room buzzed with joy, but Mia couldn't shake that fleeting shadow. What else was lurking below the surface, waiting to be confronted? Jake clapped his hands, calling for attention. "Okay, everyone. Let us take a moment here to think about what this dress is really going to represent." Amid the excitement, Mia realized that they were standing at the edge of something significant. This wasn't just about paint and fabric anymore. They were digging into family history, confronting past ideals, and perhaps reshaping their future. As she pressed a brush into the paint, the vibrant color smeared across the fabric. Would it truly hold their story? Jake's dad looked at her, eyes reflecting concern mixed with determination. Could they balance the weight of traditions with the call for change? That question loomed like a storm cloud over them, promising either a deluge of revelation or an unexpected blizzard of chaos. Would they unravel the threads of their past or weave a stronger tapestry for their future? In that moment, Mia knew this was only the beginning, an exploration poised on the edge of transformation. And as colors began to collide on the fabric, she felt the pulse of something monumental awakening. What if this wasn't just a festival dress but the stitching of hope for their family's evolving identity? Would they be able to wear it with pride, or would the weight of history overwhelm them when the time came to reveal their work? Mia watched as Jake's dad hesitated, the paintbrush poised in midair. The laughter around her faded to a soft whisper, replaced by the pounding of her heart. She couldn't shake that feeling of impending change, the kind that felt like a weight pressing against her chest. Just as she prepared to say something to bridge that gap, Jake's dad finally splashed a bit of blue onto the fabric, breaking the silence with a victorious shout of yes. Everyone erupted into cheers. Mia felt the warmth of the moment fill the room, but that persistent shadow in Jake's dad's eyes made her uneasy. It was like he was dancing along the edge of a precipice, one step away from a plunge into a vulnerability he had avoided for so long. Jake jumped in, paintbrush waving with enthusiasm. "All right, Dad. Let us start with the foundation. What do you think represents our family best?" Jake's dad paused, the question hanging in the air. "Family traditions," he began, his voice threading closely with hesitation. "It's been Halloween costumes, birthday parties, the same old routines, right? I guess I just thought that's what made us strong." Mia quickly nodded, intrigued by this revelation. But what if we added a splash of chaos to it? Something unexpected? Jake's dad blinked, brows furrowing. "You mean like breaking the mold?" "Exactly," Mia exclaimed, her heart lighting up. She lived for that thrill of transformation. Let us not just recreate what was, let us build something new that reflects who we are now. The atmosphere shifted, a tangible energy swirling. Others picked up on it too, leaning closer with curiosity. Jake's dad looked around the room, absorbing their eager faces. It was as if a door had cracked open, inviting him to step through. "Maybe we need to let go of perfection," he admitted, his voice gaining strength. "I've always held us to a standard. But what if we let our mistakes and imperfections show?" Mia's eyes widened. She could feel the tension start to melt away, the room buzzing with excitement about the unknown. It was profound, this simple act of acknowledging imperfection. "Let us make it messy, then." Sarah jumped in, tossing her hair back, an infectious grin spreading across her face. "Let us add drips and smudges like life. Sometimes it's a little chaotic, but it's still our story. A celebration of us." "Yeah," Jake exclaimed, nudging his dad with his elbow. "See? We're all in this together. This dress is going to be totally unique, just like our family. We can't control everything." Jake's dad chuckled, a genuine smile breaking through. "All right. Let us make it loud, then. A true family dress. I'm in." And just like that, their laughter began to fill the space again, a vibrant collage of eagerness around the unfinished fabric. Brushes began to dance across it, each color representing a different piece of their shared history, some bright and hopeful, others deep and bold. As colors collided, Mia felt lighter, as if they had cracked open the very heart of who they were. But then, a loud crash echoed from the back of the room, stopping everyone in their tracks. Mia turned, her heart racing as she caught a glimpse of Jake's little sister, Lucy, standing among a chaotic pile of loosely scattered supplies. Her face was covered in chocolate, eyes wide in shock. "Oops. I was trying to help," Lucy stuttered, tears already forming. Mia moved instinctively, rushing over to comfort her. "Hey, it's okay. We can make it part of the dress. Mistakes are our chance to add something unexpected." But as she bent to wipe the chocolate smudge, she caught sight of Jake's dad, and the shadow from before was back, darker. What was really going on beneath his surface? Was it just about a dress, or was there a deeper transformation underway that they hadn't yet seen? As they gathered around Lucy, laughter shifting back to a hopeful buzz, Mia felt that uneasy weight return. What if they were about to touch the very fabric of their history, unraveling more than just paint and fabric? What would that reveal? And with that thought lingering in her mind, she couldn't shake the feeling that the real challenge was just beginning. The laughter from Lucy's chocolate mishap echoed around the room, but to Mia, it sounded like a distant melody. She could feel the weight against her chest growing heavier, the shadows of past hurts curling around her and clinging like stubborn paint. If we make this part of the dress, it's going to be beautiful, she insisted, brushing a hand over Lucy's hair, trying to reassure both the little girl and herself. The worry dented her joy. Would they really embrace the chaos? Jake's dad helped Lucy clean up, while Jake's mom rushed in, eyes gleaming with excitement. Oh my goodness, we can definitely incorporate some chocolate stains into this masterpiece. Mia watched the interaction, feeling a flicker of hope igniting again. Perhaps it wasn't just about the dress, it was about each of them shedding their previous roles, unearthing vulnerabilities, and stepping into a new paradigm where mistakes didn't have to carry shame. Shall we all add our own little oops to this dress? Jake challenged everyone, grinning and pulling a few brushes toward them. With a hesitant chuckle, his dad said, "Okay then, let us see who can make the most entertaining mark." And what began as a tentative dance around each other's boundaries evolved into a whirl of playful anarchy. Mia watched as brushes smeared colors across the fabric, representing each contributor: Jake's splashes of blue, Sarah's vibrant pinks, and even Jake's dad's unexpected swirls of orange. As each chaotic mark was layered on, the room pulsed with energy. They were crafting a story that embraced their flaws and hid the irreplaceable quirks that made them a family. In that moment, a surprising realization washed over Mia. The dress had become a reflection of not just them individually but their collective spirit, one that delighted in imperfections, celebrated connection, and acknowledged all of life's unexpected turns. Mia felt a warmth fill her chest as she stepped back, gazing at their work in awe. This wasn't merely a dress anymore, it was a canvas of love, laughter, and resilience. The room buzzed with life, children were laughing, adults were exchanging stories, and even Jake's dad was drawing hearts into the fabric, drawing chuckles from the crowd. And then, in silence, they turned toward her, their eyes shining with anticipation. "Now it's your turn, Mia," Jake said, juice-stained fingertips pointing at her. Mia felt a rush of warmth. This was her moment. She stepped forward, her heart racing. For a brief second, she hesitated. What did her mark symbolize? Her insecurities? Her journey? Suddenly, everything crystallized. This was not just her marriage to Jake, it was about all of them forging a new family together. With both hands, she picked up a wide brush and dipped it into a shimmering gold, letting it drip, swirl, merge into the other colors. "This is for courage," she said softly, her heart swelling with emotion. "For all the battles we've fought, the mistakes we're learning from. It's for embracing both the beauty and chaos we create together." As she painted, gasps filled the room. It was a bold mark, a radiant swirl of gold leading into a stream of color that melded with their previously created chaos. When she looked up, there were smiles everywhere, even emerging on Jake's dad's face, who looked oddly proud. "That's a strong statement," he nodded, transforming disbelief into understanding. Jake pulled her into a hug, swaying her as laughter rippled around them. "You've got it, Mia. This is us, the beautifully imperfect family we've chosen." And just like that, uncertainty began to crumble into warmth. The air felt lighter, buoyed by newfound acceptance. They were stepping into the unknown, together. But just as they settled back into creating, the door swung open again. The sight of a few relatives coming to check out the chaos filled their spaces, anticipation and trepidation settling into Mia's gut. Would they embrace the eclectic masterpiece or critique it, drawing attention to imperfections they had just begun to accept? Jake's dad straightened, clearing his throat. "Remember, Family we decided to forge our own path, and it might not look like everyone expects. As relatives shuffled in, murmurs began to fill the air. Eyes widened and brows furrowed. Mia felt her heart race again. Would they understand, or would they resist everything they had become? One relative scoffed almost instantaneously. What a mess of a dress. That's certainly not how bridal attire should look. The words landed hard in the space, the laughter and warmth almost waning. Mia held her breath, bracing for a wave of disapproval, glancing at Jake beside her, whose expression didn't waver. We're breaking tradition, Jake said boldly, stepping forward. And honestly, this seemed way more fun. Jake's dad nodded in agreement, throwing a protective glance around the room. It's about creating a family. We're all in this together, right? There was silence. The shared defiance hung there, allowing space for realization. Suddenly, a ripple of acceptance began in the corners of the room as another relative chimed in cautiously, maybe it's good to mix things up a little. More voices followed, converging until laughter filled their collective creation once more. The joy rippled out as they began to embrace the transformation, celebrating the loving swirl of imperfections they shared. As Mia caught Jake's eye, a smile blossomed. They could navigate this shift, together. The imperfections were now points of connection that combined their stories rather than tears in their fabric. Eventually, the sun set outside, casting a gentle glow through the windows, illuminating their masterpiece. The dress, once burdened by expectations, now shimmered with their love, laughter, and a hint of chaos, a true symbol of their combined journeys. Mia squeezed Jake's hand, her heart full as she took in the joy around her. This was their story, one imperfect moment at a time. Together, they learned that sometimes it's not just about tradition, it's also about forging paths that lead to unique, beautiful adventures. With a soft sigh of content, Mia whispered, I think this could be the start of something extraordinary. Their laughter echoed into the twilight, a promise that they would embrace whatever came next, hand in hand, as a family. As the night deepened, Mia realized, amidst all their differences, they had woven something strong, one chaotic, beautiful story that would continue to unfold. And that was only the beginning. You need to subscribe now to our channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Comment your reactions and feelings about the ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to share. True fans know just how important it is.